All right, everyone. This is Greg Viti with Real Estate Legends. I'm so excited to be here today with Tony Hardy, one of my, let's call him a classmate. We work in the same company, Disclosure. He's the head of the Keller Williams. Well, you're the, what do you call yourself? The for the Midwest of
regional ambassador.
Regional ambassador of Keller Williams. He also runs the commercial end of our company, and it's been really exciting to work around him. He's got a lot of listings, a lot of excited people around him. And Tony, I'm so glad you could come on the show today. Let's start with little Tony. Where'd you grow up? How many people in your family? Who were your influences?
Well, first, thanks, Greg, for putting this together and really pushing to have this, right? I feel excited to be on the Real Estate Legends, and this is an honor. Thank you very much, and the production here is fantastic with full bars.
Isn't it great? And this is right in our office.
Love it.
Gotta love that.
Yeah.
So you're a little kid. You're going to school where? Where'd you grow up? Where was your first houses?
I grew up in Inglewood, West Inglewood, and still got a lot of family there. It was back in I want to say the early mid 70s. Our family migrated from 47th Street after they migrated from the South. They landed in Bronzeville and eventually moved over to Inglewood, where they bought some real estate. They saved up, they worked at the factories, and they bought some real estate, and our family bought real estate pretty much. I had an aunt on this block, an uncle on that block, and we were all pretty close. I went to Holy Angels. My mom worked really hard to put me into the best school she could, and so I was going to school here in Bronzeville, and so that's
brothers and sisters.
Only child. Yeah,
only child.
Just me. They're a big family.
And so your father worked in the factories?
My father worked somewhere in Alaska. Actually, he was on the boats
doing the fishing,
doing the deep fishing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can make good money, and you got nowhere to spend it.
Yeah.
So that's a double
he was
whammy.
never there.
Really way to do it.
He was always gone, right?
That's wild.
Yeah.
And so your mom, what kind of work did she do?
My mom was in special education.
Fantastic.
Right? Yeah, school teacher and special education, something that's near and dear to her heart. She wanted to impact and help out, and she worked in the Chicago public schools until she retired.
So she has a lot of patience. I mean,
yeah.
It takes a lot of patience to handle the special needs. I was on the board of directors of a special needs place in Oak Park, and
awesome.
You can really relate more. So high school time comes, and did you go to just one high school, or you had a little jump around?
Yeah, so I started at St. Rita. My first year I went to St. Rita. It was very close to the house, and I had the grades to get in. And I went to St. Rita for about a year, and second year I transferred to Hales Franciscan. I played football at Rita. My freshman year I played basketball at Hales.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So was that your main focus, was the athletics and the studying?
No, it was the school work. Football wasn't my thing. I played until it started hurting, right? And it wasn't fun anymore, right? And basketball, I played a little bit, but I wasn't, I didn't even play all 4 years. I played sophomore and junior year. And
so as far as the studies go, what were you concentrating on?
I was pretty good at the book stuff. And it was partly because my mom was always that was the thing for her, right? You're gonna go to school, you're gonna learn, and you're gonna do your best there. What happens after that, we can make adjustments for. And growing up, that was one of the things that oftentimes saved me as I went through my teenage years. As we started growing up, I would go to school, the guys would not go to school, and I would find out when I came home from school, they got in trouble. Right, they did some things, and kind of got off the path. So as soon as I hit 15, my mom took me to get a work permit, and she's like, "Hey, you got to get a work permit." She dropped me off every day at a different shopping center. Say, "Hey, we'll drop you off here at 10 a.m. I'll be back as the store is open. I'll be back at 1, and you go to every store in this center and you fill out a job application. Right.
So she got you learning how to prospect.
And pretty soon, yeah, it didn't take long. I got a call back from, I got chased out of some stores, right? Like, hey.
Who's this aggressive kid?
And, but I got a call back and I got a job bagging groceries.
Fantastic. Yeah. And so how long did you do that? During school?
I did that. Yeah, I did that. That was 15, 16. I did that all through school, and eventually landed a job at Blockbuster Video, and I worked the whole time. That was one of the things that I kept doing, was working and going to school all the way through high school, college, undergrad.
So with college, how many colleges did you apply to?
I can't remember. Undergrad, I went to SIU in Carbondale, yeah, and that was a fun experience.
What'd you major in?
I majored in agribusiness economics, and I worked at a coffee shop during the when I wasn't in school. Actually, I ran a coffee shop.
So you became a good schmoozer in college, because I noticed you're really good at that. So you were thinking about going to law school for a while during college?
Well, kind of what happened was at the end of it was kind of like the business school, right? So I focused on the business, the marketing end of agriculture, agribusiness. We did a lot of economics, a lot of statistics. And in one of the classes, a finance class, they gave us there was an opportunity for us to get, at the end of that class, we got actually a real estate certificate. And we learned all about financing everything, right? Time value of money, all the things that come with that. And at the end of they had this big college fair. And at the end of the college fair, during the college fair, I got a job offer. And I liked the job offer.
So this is in your senior year of high school?
This is senior year of college.
Oh,
we're in college.
okay.
You got me to college.
Well, I did, but I didn't realize that okay.
Well, I worked all the way through high school, right? So from 15 through graduation, I was working and going to school, and I think.
So you helped to pay your way through school. Is what you're saying.
In a lot of respects, that business acumen is what stuck with me, right, through today, right? I'm still working half dayers, and one of the things that came up during that college fair was I asked the employer. They had a second interview where I spoke with the vice president of this. Actually, it was a commercial real estate firm, Transwestern. Mm-hmm. And they'd offered me the job. And I asked, well, what does the job entail? And they told me the salary. And salary was mid-40s, which wasn't bad at that time. But I was in the interview asking, how can I get a raise? I was
there you go.
Pretty ambitious, right?
Aggressive.
And they answered the question. They said, if you want to get a raise, you need to get yourself on the fast track, young man. And the fast track typical day is 9 to 5. You get here at 7. You work to 7. You do that for 2 years, 2.5 years, you'll be on track for a $3,000 or $4,000 raise.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
They didn't say anything about getting into working as for a commission?
They didn't. No, it was going to be administrative type work.
Okay.
I don't know what the work was, but I remembered I had at the fair is when I had an epiphany that got me into using my real estate license. I thought about this real estate certificate that I had, which would allow me to just take the real estate exam and not have to do any more studies.
You have to do the 45 hours.
And so I decided what I was going to do was to take the real estate exam, get my real estate license, and work for myself from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for 2.5 years and see where that got me.
Smart idea.
Worked
so
out pretty good.
They motivated you.
Yeah, they did.
So where was your first job in real estate?
Century 21. I was working at a Century 21 office right in South Shore. It was 85th and Stone
Gold
Island.
jacket.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Did you sell a couple of houses?
Sold some houses. First year, I was working with first-time home buyers. And the second year, I found out I loved real estate. I loved the art of the deal. Wasn't too fond of first-time home buyers.
Yeah, you realize, wait, I could sell a really big building.
The business model itself was challenging to me because you did a whole lot of work. A lot of deals fell apart. They changed their mind on a lot of things here and there. But at the closing, you're out of business, right? You got to start over. They might buy a house again in 7-8 years, maybe, and they may not know you in 7-8 years. But at the same time, I'd worked with some investors that were doing non-sexy transactions. They were the bottom feeders. These guys were buying houses and condos as cheap as they can get them.
Flip
20 grand, 15 grand.
Spit and polish.
Yeah, they turn them over, and a lot of times on the turnover, it wouldn't come back to me. They get somebody
Isn't that nice? No loyalty.
a little bit more attractive than me, right? So
You couldn't get it done on your looks, huh? So that was another reason.
yeah, but I did like the fact that it was continual business, and I figured over time I could add value, and that was the lane that I liked, and that's where I started off in that space with focusing in on the investors, on the non-sexy transactions, and they would turn over those $17,000 deals over and over, and eventually they did ask me to help out with some developments, or they saw my work ethic. They saw I was there when the doors opened. They saw I was still there when the doors closed. And the broker said, hey, I want to get you a set of keys because we're tired of you calling us every morning to unlock the office for you. It didn't take long, right?
That's good.
But I did enjoy residential, and I kind of moved into that residential space where I was working mostly with investors that were, if it was somebody, a homeowner, I referred or worked with a agent that was really good at that. And I would focus on the investors that were buying the houses to flip, buying the houses for rentals.
How about 2 to 4 flats? How about the 6 to 12 flats? When did that all come in?
Yeah, I got a call from a guy that I did some door knocking, and he called back and he said, hey, I got a property I'd like you to look at. And it was a 4-unit property over in South Shore.
Good.
And he shared the rent roll with me, and I didn't know what that was, right? What is a rent roll and this and that? But we figured it out. We went to the office. The guys was old school guys, helped me price it out, and went back and presented the CMA on the property, and we came out with a fair price, right? We came out with a price that made sense for him. It was the largest deal in my career. It was like, I want to say $400,000, right?
100 a unit.
And we found a buyer right away. I think we put an ad out in the paper, and we got a call from a guy that was working for the city, and he wanted to buy it. He lived nearby, and he wanted to invest, and he bought the property. And I loved it, right? I closed that deal. That was my first apartment deal. I was probably 2 years in, and I was hooked. That was my thing.
Beautiful, beautiful. So then you start doing some more education in commercial real estate, or did you really get your education when you switched companies?
So I never switched. So the company, Century 21 broker, he also had a development company, and he had me helping out with the developments, helping out with the open houses, and selling a lot of the properties that they were developing around Kenwood and that area. Century 21 is Jerome Wade was the owner of that, and I think he still does developments to this day. And I was coming home one day, and that first 2 years was really phenomenal for me. I outpaced the salary I would have made if I worked for the corporate company, and also I ended up owning a 2-flat and a 4-unit. One of them I lived in a unit, and I rented the other units out. And I came home one day, and there was this sign going up on the building next door. There was this big tower building. They were changing the sign out. They were changing management companies. And I was like, wow, I just closed on this small condo deal, had a commission check for like $5,000, right? And I was like, wow, I wonder, it looks like they got a new owner. I wonder if they had a real estate agent. I wonder what kind of real estate license you need to do a deal like that. It was like 25-story apartment complex. And I started to look into it. And they did have a real estate agent. And it was the same license that I had. So I started knocking on doors, man. I was like, hey, I want
to sell a big one.
I want to work for you guys. They're like, hey, kids, slow down. We don't have any room over here. We're fine. And I knocked on a lot of doors. And that's when I decided what I wanted to do was to kind of hone in on my skills, right? This is a different level or caliber of investor. This is a different kind of transaction. And that's when I decided that I wanted to go to law school. And I wanted to go to law school to really get a deeper understanding of real estate, of the laws that impact real estate, and contracts and all of those things, so that I could have those conversations with those investors
with total confidence,
that level,
giving
right?
them all the different facts.
These are institutions, right? I found out the owner of that building who bought it, and I wrote him a letter, a handwritten letter. I said, hey, I want to be your real estate agent one day. I'm not ready now, right? But I know you purchased this property, and one day I want to be a real estate agent that can handle your stuff. And I went off to law school. And
so where'd you go to school?
I went to, so I applied. That's another thing. I applied everywhere but Illinois. And I thought that if I stayed in Illinois trying to go to school, I would be trying to close another deal. I'd be distracted, right? I grew up here all my life. I can't go to the grocery store without somebody saying, hey, Tony, let's go do this. Let's go do that. We got tickets to the game, right?
You wanted total focus.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. So I got accepted to Whittier Law, which was in Costa Mesa, California. It was a satellite. Their campus is in Whittier, California, which is right in LA, but the law school satellite was in Costa Mesa, right next door to Newport Beach, right next door to
Sounds like you're really roughing it there. Oh, that must have been tough.
Oh, man. Yeah, from Inglewood to Newport Beach, right?
Yeah, let me tell you.
And we had a lot of fun
Get
over
a
there.
surfboard?
Yeah, I did. We did some things that and I was able to focus in, right? It was probably 2 years. It took 4 years to get through law school. It was 2 years before I went anywhere and somebody said, hey, Tony! I was at the Grand Prix and it was one of the guys from law school, right? So it worked.
So you get out of law school, you come back to Chicago.
Yeah, so
still have your license?
Yeah, so during law school, I worked during the day. I did mortgages during the day, pretty much 7 to about 3, 4. Then I went to night school. Law school was from 5 to 9.
How'd you get into the mortgage game?
It was kind of real estate-ish, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's a perfect way to
It was more
segue.
desk. Yeah, first I started off at a lead company. We were selling leads. It was a company called Go-To Leads or something like that. We were selling leads to mortgage companies. And I was doing pretty good at it. But the president called me into his office one day and said, hey, you need to sell leads to loan officers. I wouldn't call loan officers. I would call the CEOs of the companies that own the branches.
Right,
say,
so let's sell them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, we don't have 5,000 leads. The guy wants a big order, right? You need to sell 50.
So that's when you figured I'll just give the loans and make money on that. That's a good idea.
That was the day. That was my last day there. I was like, hey, this is going to work for me. I'm here. Sky's the limit, right? That's what I want to do. So I applied. I got a mortgage company, and we did pretty good. Excelled at mortgages. I ended up being a production manager, then a team leader, and we did mortgages all over the country. And that got me through law school, and
Great
that got
experience.
me through Newport Beach, right? Because I was sticker shocked when I got there, and I was like, "Hey, I got to find an apartment." Right? I just packed up my car and showed up, right? But the rent
wasn't $300 a month.
Whoa, yeah. So I ended up getting a place,
Studio.
not even a studio. I rented a room in this guy's house that he rented rooms out to people that were in college.
Perfect.
Yeah,
He's
it was
smart.
like, yeah. And it worked out. We had a great relationship, and it worked out just fine.
So then you graduate, come back,
Graduated.
Your
and
mom
came
must
back.
have been happy that you got your way back here.
Yeah, she was happy at the graduation, right?
I'll bet.
See her son
Very
graduate
proud.
from law school.
Yes.
And she didn't tell me to go to law school.
It happened organically.
because she pushed me early, right? So yeah, I came back, and
Are you part of like a club, like Lawyers from Englewood Club or something?
maybe we should start that.
Yeah, let's see how many there are.
Southside Community Investors Association. That's the club. That's SCI.
Well, I know you're involved in many clubs
Yeah,
now.
we're part of the Neighborhood Building Owners Alliance, and we do a lot of give back. I was a little late today for your meeting. I had a board meeting with the Greater Chatham Initiative, which is another Southside group that's trying to impact small businesses
Fantastic.
in the community. Yeah.
Well, I know that you've definitely progressed this whole thing to where now you know the numbers very well, and you have a lot of different types of listings, and you have a lot of assignments that you're getting and your team's getting, and you've got this Travis on your team, which I'm definitely in awe of. Travis, he's a sharp, cool guy. And so is it next Marcus and Millichap that hires you, or you come back to Chicago?
Yeah, so I applied at Marcus and Millichap. I knocked on a lot of doors at the commercial companies, but they weren't quite ready. The market was kind of switching. I think it was around 2010 or something like that. The market there came off of something happened in 2008.
It was terrible.
It was pretty bad. I connected back with the developers. They were building affordable housing. I did some project management in the affordable housing. I helped out restructuring. I was doing some consulting work with another group of investors they had an apartment complex. They had condos, and the condos weren't selling because the market switched. And I was like, hey, why don't we rent these out? They're really close to the University of Chicago, and
natural.
Cash flow them and sell the condos later. And it was during that process that Marcus and Millichap did. They invited me out to a career night. They had a career night, and I was hooked. I wanted in. I was calling the managing director of the company every day, right? Hey, we need to meet. We need to talk. And I think it was a couple weeks before I could get him back on the phone, but he really liked that fact that I was.
Hey, you're confident.
That's
You're
part
after
of the deal,
it.
right? In commercial real estate,
Damn right.
You got to call. And I worked there for a decade. I learned a lot.
Where was your office when you first started there?
Oakbrook. I started off in Oakbrook,
And where were you living?
I was living in Calumet Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had quite a drive.
Yeah, it was a drive.
Were you taking the get in early, leave late attitude?
Absolutely. Yeah, you wanted to beat the traffic
Right.
in the morning, so you need to get there early, and you don't want to be in a rush hour in the evening, so you needed to stay till after. So that 7 to 7 ethic still stuck. It worked out pretty good.
And you were there for over a decade.
I was there for 10 years. Yeah.
Fantastic. I know you did a lot there. I know some of the people you
One
worked
of the
with.
things that happened while I was there is I ran into that owner that owned that 25-unit apartment complex. I was leaving out of an architect's office, and he was coming into the architect's office, and we reconnected. And eventually, we listed that property, and we sold it.
How exciting is that?
It was 230-unit apartment building. Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
largest deal of my career at that time.
That is so exciting. Yeah. So it just all progressed.
Yeah.
And so when you're leaving Marcus and Millichap, what's your mindset? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go?
Yeah, so it just happened during that time. I was on the board of the Chicago Association of Realtors, and I made some great connections. One of them was Chris Keller, and we had been going out to lunch and dinner and on different boards over
Such a nice
4
man.
or 5 year period. And one day, he's like, "Hey, come on, we're having something at my Lincoln Park office. We're opening up." And I like Chris. He was trying to get me, but his office was in O'Hare.
Yeah.
I was like,
That was rough.
I just can't do O'Hare every day, right? I'm a in the office kind of guy. They were opening up an office in Lincoln Park, and I got to meet Joe Zimmerman and Josh Weinberg and Tommy Choi. Phenomenal people, right? Just great energy, great everything.
And then they explain to you about the capping system. It won't be 50-50 anymore. Did that motivate you, the financial gain that you could have?
Not as much, because I had heard all it is. I think that any agent can make 100%, right? Like it's 100% of what is. It was more the culture.
If you hold the broker's license at your house, you can definitely make 100%. You can make 100%, but you're missing all the synergy and the national company and all that.
Where's the support, right? They had a system. One of the things that I liked about the company is that they had a system. They weren't doing a lot of commercial, but the company itself is doing 1 million transactions a year, right? It's a $300 or $400 million machine.
Billion-dollar machine.
Yeah, $400 million a year, right? They're cranking out this product, and I believe that commercial real estate on that platform and in that system could work just as well as anywhere else. And more so, it was the culture that they represented, the kind of people. You know, you meet somebody that's just a good human being, you know.
I definitely know. I've been in a lot of different situations, and the people you're around, we're almost all like stars that kind of pull together. Yeah. And just in the time that we've been together, we're working on a lot of different exciting things. Maybe we have a potential to help someone build a huge building. We have this other big listing we're going to get, and it's all been very organic. Organic. I should say.
You mentioned Travis Montgomery. He's a phenomenal business partner. And he was one of the first when I joined KW Commercial. He was one of the first to join the team, and we had been talking a little bit when I was at Marcus, and he came over and just kind of poured his heart out, like, hey.
So he was at Marcus too?
He wasn't. He was at Properties. He was at Properties, and a lot of my team, everybody on my team, was either residential agents before or brand new to the business. And Travis is one that he was at Properties, and he had aspired to do commercial. I think he did some commercial leasing here and there, but investment sales, it was very limited. And I got
to tell you, it's fun to work with you guys, especially the way Travis goes after the numbers and the way he does his deep dives and the way all three of us analyze it, and it's really. It's exciting to be around it, you know. And
yeah,
it's growing.
I was on homes.com the other day. I was talking to a client, and he's flipping. We sold a 22-unit apartment building for him. He took part of the money and reinvested to flip a house. And so we're on the computer trying to figure out who's the agent to represent him on the sale, who's got market share in that community, who's the best. And so he's on homes.com.
And you can do that on the multiple listing service without using that other company that.
Well, he doesn't have a multiple listing service, so he was able to find, and he pulled up Travis, and Travis numbers were phenomenal. We had no idea that they were there. It was over $40 million in
how exciting is
showing
that?
Up, and I know that was really exciting for me to see how him go through the and get awards and recognition at the Chicago Realtors.
Well, you've won a lot of awards.
Yeah, I get awards, but it feels good to see.
Oh, when you take someone who didn't even know what they were doing, or when Travis, he did know what he was doing, and he was smart, but he's evolved, and everybody on your team's evolved.
The team is growing, yeah.
And it's exciting. Maybe we should talk about it. You've evolved it into it being an author, and congratulations on getting your book published.
Awesome. Yeah. That was an experience. Yeah.
How long did it take you to write this book?
It took a very long time to get to a point where to focus and get it out, right? It had been this thing that I wanted to do, and I worked on here and there for a few years, actually.
Who's your list, or who's your reader? Is it agents?
It is. It's agents and investors, right? And it's that bridging the gap. I feel like when I got into commercial real estate, I was in like a kind of pin the tail on a donkey type deal, right? Blindfold him, spin him around a few times, and see if he can figure out how to do this. And I've always heard that residential agents can't do commercial, and residential agents can't do it.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times myself.
And my team is built from residential agents and new agents to the business. And one of the things that we wanted to do in the book is to show that roadmap or that bridge from residential to commercial. And it's a deliberate path that you can take to get there.
Well, when I was making my transition, I would call a lot of my friends who've been in commercial real estate for a long time. And I'd ask them, here's what I'm thinking. And they'd say, oh, yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
And after a while, I'm like, oh, my God, I really do. Why don't I have the confidence yet? And it is fun when you finally get the confidence and you know they're not cold calls or business development calls, and you've got to focus and you know it. So when you call these people, they know they're dealing with someone who's done a tremendous amount of business and gives back and writes books, and they look at it, I'm sure, as an honor to have you, and it is at this point.
Yes.
So how many years have you been in real estate now?
Man, I have to get my calculator out. So I got out of I graduated from SIU, and that was in 1998. So
okay,
do the math, right?
Perfect. That's so exciting. You got your license just because you were studying.
Yeah, it was just a happenstance, right? It was just, hey, by the way, you get this certificate because you took this hard math class.
Is there one part of this book that just stands out that you're like excited for someone to really grasp and read this part?
Well, the overall thing that I'm seeing is that the NAR settlement and all the headwinds coming at real estate at this juncture is really pushing the residential agent to act and behave more like a commercial broker.
Exactly. Right? And that's what took me so long. Like, I would call these commercial agents and ask them if they're cooperating.
Right.
And they'd all look at me like I have a third eye and want to hang up on me.
Yeah.
And then I realized one day, wait, when you have the right buyer, you're going to get compensated. That's for sure.
Right.
Quit worrying about it. And I think I'd been in the commercial realm for so long that when this all kept down, I'm like, oh God, we're going to make more money now. This is better. And it really is.
Right. And so we cover that, right? How do you take control of that conversation? How do you understand that, hey, this guy is sharing all of this information with me. This guy is opening up the property for me to see it. He must need me, right? Maybe he didn't anticipate needing me when he signed the listing. He thought he had it all figured out. But we're 3-4 months in at this point, and it's a free fall of information. He's calling me back, right? This big time commercial broker, right? So how do I navigate that? Not to stand up and start beating my chest, but how do I navigate this to create a win for my client and create a win on the other side of the board where, hey, I sold that deal, right? And those waters and how to navigate them, how to have those conversations, what your email could look like and things like that as you correspond with that broker on the other side, whether it's the residential broker with the listing that's hiding a ball on the commission, right? Or big time commercial broker, but you got a buyer that you're trying to find a deal for, right? How do you make that happen? So that's all about bridging that gap, and we believe that bridge is residential, and that's where that title of the book came from.
Did you have someone help you with this book? Did your wife jump up and read it a few times for you?
Wife definitely is a big help.
She's smart, I know that.
She's an attorney, and she's a very strong writer. So there's definitely an impact and influence there. And also I had a good team of publishers that helped, pushed, and knew how to get it out. And one of the things is the book just came out this weekend, Friday.
So that's why my excuse that I haven't read it yet.
It was released on Amazon this Friday, and already it is one of the hot new releases in real estate. Actually, the number one.
That's exciting to hear.
Book in real estate.
I just hope it crushes it.
Yeah.
So your mindset going forward on your team, do you have anything else that you want to share with the public as to what's going on with you and your team?
Yeah, sure. So the overall thing is really impact on the industry, right? I want to give back to that next group of emerging successful brokers that's trying to figure out how to add a few commercial deals to their pipeline without necessarily disrupting their whole business. It doesn't need to be a light switch where you switch this on to switch that off, right? You can start to work with great agents like you and I. We work together on some deals and start to build up a commercial pipeline that way. And if you see the most successful brokers in this industry, typically they're not out there on their own. They have teams and they're working together. They're collaborating. Hey, you have your specialty and I have mine, and how we fit together is how we win and how we win for the client.
You know, it's interesting. It's certain kinds of properties, like I've done 2 to 4 flats for so long, and I feel like that's like part of me. And then the 6 to 12 seems so natural. But then there's other parts that I definitely want help, need help, and appreciate help. And it's always fun to bring you along and have Travis with us, because between the 3 of us, one, they can tell that we're covering all the bases and we're having a good time. And I think that's part of this. You don't want to just be all business so serious. I mean, we got to have some fun in this world, right? So.
And that's what the team dynamic allows you to do, right? If you got a great team help with writing a book, if you got a great team and putting together deals, you can do more, and you can have more of your time to do what's important. And that what's important is the time with the family, the time with the friends, and having a life. And that's where
the balance.
That's how you get it, right? You don't try to do it all. And then when you do that and you let go some of it, you actually get more done.
Right. You're more productive.
More time.
You can do bigger numbers.
To do the things that are important. Yeah, I started off focusing on multifamily properties in a small section of Chicago, just the south side of Chicago. And those owners, I learned a lot. One of the things I learned, if you could sell apartment buildings on the south side of Chicago, you could probably sell commercial real estate
anywhere in the country,
anywhere in the world. Right,
exactly.
And in that focus, some of those owners owned other properties in other places. I sold a 6 flat for a guy one time, and then he called me a couple days later and said he had a CVS in Georgia that he wanted me to look at. And it was, again, building a team to be able to execute for him, where I was the point of contact and the boots on the ground were in Georgia that specialized in CVS's. And now it's...
So that's where the Keller Williams commercial contacts really step up for you.
Yeah, Keller Williams is a phenomenal company. We have 1,088 offices around the United States. We got boots on the ground in every nook and cranny around, and that gives us an opportunity to really service our clients on a higher level, right? It's not just their investment sale. I'm able to help them through the entire transaction, wherever the pain is, right? If you got a vacancy, we got a team that somewhere very close that focuses on renting vacancies. And I can quarterback it for you and make sure that that assignment is being executed. Same thing with my client that's flipping that house. I can still consult him on finding the right agent for the job and make sure that he gets an excellent service.
And oversee it a bit.
Yeah, help to add value to the client wherever they are, right? Whatever's important to them at the time is where I have the ability to being with this company, this team. And that's really exciting.
Fantastic. So you get up really early in the morning?
I do.
And do you start working pretty early, or?
No, I start off with some me time.
Good.
In the mornings and
family time.
Really the mornings are mine. Everybody else's. I'm up before everybody else, right? And I have some time to
nice and quiet.
Yeah, to kind of plan and meditate and do a little bit of reading and do a little bit of thinking without the technology and exercise and things like that. Yeah, so
fantastic.
I get at least an hour of that every morning.
And then, are you working nights much or weekends?
Yeah, I pretty much pause working here and there to do, the things that I got to do, and it's still long days for me. It's long days. I go back to the office. We just opened up the branch in Bronzeville, and I'm
555 East 47th Street.
Yeah, and I'm in and out of there all the time.
Well, I know that you're very connected in Bronzeville, all over the place, but really in Bronzeville. I mean, every time I've brought someone, you've known them or they've known you, and it's nice to be connected.
Yeah.
So, Tony, I'm so excited for you. Congratulations on the book. Congratulations on being a real estate legend, and you got there pretty quick. All in all, I know it's been a lot of work from your side, but you keep a great attitude. You've got a lot of great people behind you, and we all appreciate what you bring to the table for us as a Keller Williams family.
Awesome.
So this is Greg Viti from Real Estate Legends. We're going to sign off with Tony Hardy, the JD. Good job. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.